Want to know how to create this cool inset effect? Have you ever been lying awake at 3 AM jealous of how woodworkers have all these cool effects they can do using their tools and techniques and knowledge? Well, we're about to show those artisans how we can do something almost as cool as what they can do. I'm Dan, this is the Custom Corner. Let's get started. So here I am in Inkscape. I'm using Inkscape because it's free and I've had a lot of viewers ask me to use free tools, so here we are. I'm not the best at Inkscape, so since I mainly use Affinity, which is I think free now, so I'll do my best to get around this interface the best I can. The gist here is simple. We want to create a word, but also a larger version that we can use to Boolean cut out of the destination object so we can basically place the letters into those holes. Now your first instinct might be to say, duh, just scale the font up a couple points, dummy. But if you said that, then you'd be the dummy because that's not how font scaling works. Let me show you what it would look like if we tried to use the font method. Here on the left is us creating another letter using the same font but at a bigger scale. You can see here that the size increased, but not in the way we wanted to, which is proportionally around all the sides, including the inside open areas. On the right, we see the method we're going to employ, which is creating the same copy of the letter and then applying a stroke to it. Let's do the real thing and it'll become obvious how it works. Let's type our word out and clear out some of the settings that Inkscape kept as default from the last work I did. I'm also going to change the font to something nicer and more bubbly. Now that we have our word, I'm going to increase the spacing between the letters. This will prevent the outline stroke of each letter from running into the next one. If you wanted to, you could have the outline stroke be one object, and you could create a cool graffiti effect with the right font. Here, I want to have each letter be separate. Now that we have our word and in the right spacing, I want to go to the Layers menu, right-click on the text layer, and choose Duplicate. Now, in case your Fill and Stroke tab isn't up like mine is, you can just right-click on the layer and choose Fill and Stroke, or do Ctrl-Shift-F. Now, the colors here don't really matter, but you may want to change them to something so you can differentiate the stroke outline with the original text. What does matter here is the stroke fill and stroke paint need to be set to solid, which is the second little square here. After setting those, we can go to the Stroke Style tab and play with the width. The width determines how much outline extends from the original shape. This is how we control the size of the opening that we're going to Boolean cut out of our object. You may have to do a test print playing around with these numbers, since different fonts will have different shaped letters and cutouts inside of the letters. This can lead to problems if not enough spacing is used. After rearranging the layers, since I chose the wrong one to stroke, we can start to see how this will work in practice. The lettering will be printed as separate letters, and the stroke layer will be used to cut the shapes out. And if you chose the right width, we'll have enough clearance or tolerance so that the letters will fit inside those holes. Now, all we have to do is convert the letters to a path by selecting both layers, go into the Path menu, and choose Object to Path. After that, we go to the File menu, choose Save As, and save this as an SVG file. Now we can do all our work in Bambu Studio. Here we are in Bambu Studio, and I've gone ahead and imported our SVG object using the Import SVG option in the File menu. You can see in our object list that there's 3 objects. Why is that? Well, there are 3 because one is our original word, the other is the duplicated word that we applied the stroke to, and the third is the actual stroke itself. You can see here as I split them out that 2 of them are the same and the other is the outline. What we want to do here is take the outline and the duplicate and merge them as a single part. We'll center both so we know they're lined up, and right-click and choose Merge into Single Part. After centering the original word as well, you can kind of see how it's all going to work when we put this on another object. We'll cut out the outline object from the destination object and go back to our time in kindergarten to play with the letter blocks. Let's go ahead and begin that next step so we can wrap this all up. Let's create a cube and scale it out to the sides and flatten it into a block that we'll use as our test base. We're going to rename this to be the cutout, and this is going to be the word. Next, what we want to do is we want to use the cutout. Let me actually let me split these up here. They don't need to be on their own. Move the word out. What we're going to do is use the block, the cutout, to basically cut out just a small space within that rectangle. To do that, we're going to go ahead and select both of them, merge. And then what we're going to do is take the cutout and we're going to move it up because we don't want to fully cut out the whole word. We just want to have a piece inside. Right, let's go ahead and go here. Then we want to put the word into and have it come out. And then we're going to resize the actual words too, because I don't want it to be sticking out so much. But now that both of these are together, we can select them. And then we're going to go with our wonderful Boolean operation, which we all know how to do, right? Right? I have enough videos on them. Subtraction. A minus B, right? So the blue is going to get taken away by the green, right? That's what we want. So we're going to go ahead and do execute. And now we have our cutout. Let's change the color of this word so that we can print it in a different color. My colors aren't matching to what I have on my actual device, so let me go ahead and do that. Let me go sync it here. Okay. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. Now, we can go try to print this like this, but it's going to take a while because of the filament changes, right? And we don't want that. And if you look at my last video, and this is my way of promoting my last video of print by object. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go to global. We're going to go to print sequence and change from by layer to by object. And we're going to go ahead and slice this. Oh, it's too close. It's too close. Yes, I understand. Don't worry. We can fix this. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and go to preview. And now you can see there's only one color change from the red to the green. And we're now at 43 minutes for the print time. Let's go ahead and print this. And then I'll show you how we put it all together. Here's the final print on the plate. Looking pretty good. Now, I have to be honest, and it took a bit of forceful push to get these letters in their grooves. I needed to have a bigger stroke. Instead of 1mm, I needed to have about 1.5 or 1.75 to give enough spacing for the letters to fit better. Interestingly enough, the L fit is loose because there's no curves or inner spacing to worry about. To wrap this up, this is an interesting use case and one worthy of having in our toolbox for decorative inlays and other embossing effects. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and do other YouTube-y stuff to help the channel out. Got any more cool ideas to explore? Drop them in the comments below. Thanks again. See you soon.